Hi, my name's Karen Quiroz, and I am lucky enough to be the science resource teacher for the Chula Vista Elementary School District located at the Living Coast Discovery Center. The Living Coast is a small environmental education center with sea turtles, sharks, snakes, eagles, and more located in South Bay, San Diego. Today's experience is titled Innovation Inspired by Nature, Bird Edition. And we are going to focus on how different kinds of birds have inspired scientists and engineers to work together to create things that help people live better. We're going to talk about bird inspiration in just a bit, but first let's look a little deeper into the fascinating world of birds. How many birds can you name? Write as many bird names as you can into the question and answer section. I have my friends, Mr. Bruder and Mr. Ramirez, helping me out today. They will be helping and answering some questions along the way, and I will be answering some others throughout the lesson as well. I'll check back later in just a moment to find out all the different kinds of birds that you can name. We have 4 main objectives today. We are going to become ornithologists and learn about many types of birds. We are also going to extend our understanding of biomimicry, and you will get to meet some of our bird animal ambassadors who will help us out with this one. We're also going to explore some examples of innovations inspired by the amazing abilities of birds. For example, birds in general have been very inspirational to people, especially their ability to fly. The Wright brothers, who achieved the first flight in an airplane, studied a turkey vulture to design their airplane models. The peregrine falcon is the fastest animal on the planet, flying up to 200 miles an hour, so it was the perfect inspiration for one of the US Air Force aircraft. Our final objective will be to build a tool that ornithologists use very often to study birds up close. So as ornithologists today, we will become scientists who study all aspects of birds. They spend a lot of time observing birds out in nature and also in a lab. They study how they fly, how they live, where they live, and so much more. You ready to become an ornithologist? Excellent. Let's begin. There are about 249 different bird families in the world and about 9,000 to 10,000 different species. There are an estimated 50 billion birds on Earth, which means there are about 6 birds for every human. Now, there are many ways to put these birds into similar groups, and one way to categorize them is to use these 4 main groups: water birds, raptors or birds of prey, perching birds, and flightless birds. The birds in each of these groups have similar characteristics, although they can be quite diverse too. So let's go over the birds in each group and see what they have in common. We'll start with the water birds. All of these birds live near water because they get their food from the water. They have special beaks and their feet to help them get their food. Some of these birds have beaks kind of like a duck, which can filter bugs or grab plants out of the water. Others have long beaks that will dig in the mud for worms or crabs. Other types of water birds have beaks that can spear or grab fish right out of the water. The water birds also have different kinds of feet to help them in the water. Many of them have webbed feet that can actually act like paddles to help them swim, and others have really long toes to help them not sink in the mud as they wade in the water. Many birds have waterproof feathers, and some can actually use their wings to kind of fly or swim under the water. So water birds have specialized body parts that can help them eat the food from the water. Next, let's talk about raptors. Raptors are also known as birds of prey because they all eat meat. They have special beaks and feet to help them eat their meat since they don't really have a knife and a fork to help them. They have powerful curved beaks that kind of work like a knife to cut up, and then they also have sharp claws or talons that help them to hold their prey like a fork. Most raptors hunt when they are flying from really high up in a tree or flying or from a tall structure. This means they need to have really good eyesight to find their prey from far away and then watch it as they catch it. Their eyes are very large to help them see far, but they actually can't move their eyeballs around like we can. They have double the number of bones in their neck, which actually allow them to turn their head farther than we can. Not all the way around, but definitely farther so they can see in all directions. So raptors have special body parts to help them eat meat. Now we come to the largest group of birds, the perching birds. Over half of the birds on the planet, more than 5,000 species, are perching birds. These are the birds you see most often, and usually they're small or kind of medium size. Most of them eat seeds and bugs, and they have small kind of hard beaks to crack open shells. An exception to this is actually the hummingbirds, since they have long beaks to be able to reach inside the flowers for the nectar. A remarkable trait of these birds is that their feet are actually relaxed when they are perching, so they can sleep without falling off the branch. Many times you'll actually hear these birds before you see them, as they usually have nice songs and sounds that they communicate. You might have heard some of these birds called songbirds. So perching birds have special body parts that help them to eat seeds, nectar, and bugs. Our last group of birds are the flightless birds. There's not that many birds in this group, but they're pretty familiar. The birds can't fly, but they do have wings. And flightless birds like an ostrich or a penguin are usually fairly large birds and well known for their abilities. Because even though they can't fly, they still have to be able to get away from their predators. So therefore, they have powerful legs like an ostrich or are able to use their wings to swim in the water like penguins. Some flightless birds, like the kiwi, actually can camouflage well to hide from their predators. So flightless birds can't fly, but they do have many abilities that help them to stay away from their predators. Excellent. So now, as ornithologists, you should know all about the 4 main types of birds. Shall we play a matching game to test your knowledge? I'm going to show you a picture of a bird, and I want you to try and guess which type of bird it is. Water, raptor, perching, or flightless. Ready? Here's the first one. What type of bird is this? Is it a water bird, a raptor, a perching bird, or a flightless bird? Remember to look at the beak and the feet. Those will give you a hint of what kind of bird this is. This is an oriole, and it is a perching bird. See how it can kind of hold on to the branch, and it has that small kind of hard beak? Let's try another one. Here we go. What type of bird is this? Water bird, raptor, perching bird, or flightless bird? I'll give you a hint. This type of bird is called a roadrunner. Think you got it? If it's a roadrunner, they can run fast, but they cannot fly. So this is a flightless bird. Many of you might have seen the cartoon with a roadrunner in it, but now you've actually seen a picture of a real one. Here's another. What type of bird is this? Water bird, raptor, perching bird, or flightless bird? Remember to look closely at its beak and its feet. That will help you figure it out. If you said raptor, that's correct. Well done. See the sharp curved beak and the talons on its feet to help it eat meat? That's why it's a raptor. Let's try a couple more. What type of bird is this? Water bird, raptor, perching bird, or flightless bird? Don't get tricked by this one with a pattern. Actually look at the bird and figure out which kind this one is. This is a macaroni penguin, so it's also a flightless bird. They are very strong swimmers, which help them to avoid predators since they can't fly. Okay, we have 2 more. Keep it up. You're doing well. What type of bird is this? Water bird, raptor, perching bird, or flightless bird? There's a hint in this picture for this one. Excellent. It's a water bird. The snowy egret has long legs and a long beak to wade in the water and catch fish. Last one more. What type of bird is this? Water bird, raptor, perching bird, or flightless bird? Last one. Raptor is correct for the owl. This is a great horned owl and it eats meat, has that powerful eyesight and very sharp beak and talons. You did it! It is important to understand that there are different types of birds and know their main characteristics as an ornithologist. I think right now would be a really great time to check in and see what other kinds of birds you already know about. So, Mr. Bruder, would you mind sharing some of the names of the birds that our viewers listed earlier?
Sure, Mrs. Q. We have tons of birds that were shared in the Q&A, so I'll do my best to get through a bunch of them with you.
Okay.
We had Sienna share about a hummingbird, Katie shared about a blue jay and a parrot, Lucas shared about a dove, a crow, a hawk, an eagle, a canary.
My goodness, these are all great ones.
Yeah, we had some whole classes share too. Mrs. Escobar's class said an owl, a seagull, a pelican, a finch. Miss Ruiz's class in the virtual academy said a dove, a swan, a peacock. Miss Vinland's class, 5th grade class, shared about a seagull and a red-tailed hawk. Room 401 at Harborside shared about a bald eagle, a wagtail, an albatross. We got condors, swans, parakeets, sparrows. I mean, we've toucans, ravens, all kinds of birds.
Oh, there are so many types of birds. I'm so impressed with how many you already know. We have some amazing ornithologists already out there. I am so impressed. Thank you so much for sharing. Should we move on, or do you want to give us some more?
You know what? I know you have some exciting stuff to show, so I think we can move on. Maybe I can sneak some in later.
Sounds great. All right. Well, thank you all for sharing. There are so many different types of birds. So now we're going to focus on some biomimicry stuff. During my live events this year, we've been studying about biomimicry, which is how people can copy nature to come up with solutions to problems or create new technologies or products. Today, we're going to see that not only does this help humans be successful, it also helps us to conserve energy and be more eco-friendly. Nature recycles everything, and it runs only on sunlight. Nature also only uses the energy that it needs. So if we follow these principles of biomimicry, they can help us guide us to help us make new inventions that are more efficient and also sustainable. We're going to go ahead and focus on how birds have inspired engineers to create products that have improved our lives. So here's a video that explains a little bit more about biomimicry, and it uses specific examples of a bird that helped solve a big problem in Japan. So check out this awesome video.
Imagine you're on the Japanese bullet train, built to be one of the fastest trains in the world. But it had a problem, a very loud problem, and the solution? It came from an unlikely place. The story went like this. The bullet train could reach speeds of almost 200 miles per hour, but when it rushed into a tunnel, air pressure would build in the narrow space, causing a large boom when exiting. The tunnel boom was so loud and Japanese noise standards so strict that the problem threatened to stop the bullet in its tracks, if it weren't for a bird. An engineer was tasked to solve the problem. How could the train travel smoothly through a tunnel with minimal turbulence? The answer? A kingfisher. A kingfisher moves from low-resistance air to high-resistance water without making a splash. The engineer modeled the front of the train on the kingfisher's beak, solving the tunnel boom problem while increasing the energy efficiency of the bullet train. The kingfisher and the bullet train is an example of biomimicry. Bio, meaning life, and mimicry, the action of imitating something. Some people refer to it as following nature's blueprint for invention. Others have called it emulating nature's genius. But it boils down to copying nature, taking nature's best designs and using them to inspire something you want to make. A bonus, nature won't sue you for copyright infringement. Biomimicry isn't a new thing. It's been done countless times throughout human history. Now, it has the new role of creating a healthier planet.
So cool that engineers designed the front of a train from the shape of a kingfisher's beak. The shape not only reduced the loud sound that it made coming out of the tunnels, and it reduced it by the amount of energy by 30% and increased the speed of the train by 10%. So this improved design was more efficient and it actually used less energy. Pretty cool. Now, I happen to have one of our animal ambassadors here at the Living Coast to help me explain some other innovations that have helped us create energy-saving products. This is Jack, and Jack is a screech owl, and there are many products that have been inspired by owls. Even though Jack is small, he is full grown. He is 13 years old. That is very old for a screech owl, as they usually only live to be about 5 years old out in the wild. Jack, unfortunately, was hit by a car and his eye was damaged, so unfortunately it had to be removed by a veterinarian. So you can see his right eye is missing. But he is very well taken care of here at the Living Coast, and he's been an inspiration to many of our visitors. So owls in general have been very inspirational to engineers. They are nocturnal ninjas because they are some of the best hunters in the animal kingdom, and most hunt at night. Many night vision tools have been inspired by owls because they can see 35 to 100 times better than humans at night. If you see how big Jack's owl is, you can see that they have very powerful eyes. People have also developed products that copy owls' excellent hearing and also their ability to camouflage. However, I want to focus on a characteristic specific to how owls are actually going to fly silently. It's pretty amazing. Their ability to fly and make no noise helps them to hear the movement of their prey and also help them to follow and sneak up on it. There's a couple of things that help owls to fly silently. First, the shape of their wing has a big kind of arch, and that's going to allow them to actually move their wings slower, but have really a lot of power, and they don't have to flap as often. Second, they have serrated edges and fringe on their feathers, so it actually breaks up the air and makes it quiet. And then lastly, their feathers are very soft and smooth. You can see how soft and smooth his feathers are, right? So there's a company called Zeal-Aveg, and they studied the traits of these owls and used them to improve their fans that are used in many different industries. If you check out the blades on this fan, you can see how they're arched and they have very smooth surfaces, and they have those serrated or kind of pokey edges. So these traits have saved energy, and they've also made the fans quieter, just like an owl's wing. So again, studying nature helped us improve our products. Thanks so much for helping us out today, Jack. Another type of bird that has been inspirational to humans is an American kestrel. And I have actually brought out one of our kestrels before, named Mariah. You've probably heard of Mariah before. Jack just settling back in. So Mariah is an American kestrel, and kestrels have actually been an inspiration for something in the sports world. So if you see maybe athletes have worn black stripes under their eyes, believe it or not, this idea came from a kestrel. So if you look at the picture of Mariah, you can see she has dark stripes under her eyes as well. These stripes absorb sunlight and they act like sunglasses for her. This is the same reason why athletes put black under their eyes. It prevents glare and it helps them to see better in the sunlight. So nature has so many solutions to many of our challenges. Let's look at another bird that's inspired engineers. Have you ever wondered if a woodpecker gets a headache? They spend so much of their day pounding their beak against a hard surface to make holes. An industrial designer named Sarabi developed a bike helmet after studying the woodpecker's skull. Amazingly, he created a liner inside the helmet that's made of cardboard, and it made it safer because it absorbed so much of the impact. The liner has special cardboard with hexagonal shapes that makes it super strong. Now that might sound familiar because in my last event, I showed how buildings in New York are being developed with some hexagonal shapes that imitated the honeycomb of a bee. This made the buildings very strong, just like the liner of this helmet. So the Kremlin liner absorbs 3 times as much force as other helmets. And because 90% of the liner is air, it's also 15% lighter. Being made of cardboard can be recycled, so it also reduces the amount of waste and makes the helmet more eco-friendly. Yet another way that biomimicry has helped us. Now for our last bird-inspired product, I want to bring out one of our newest animal ambassadors. And this bird is quite a little bit larger than Mariah, but in that same falcon family. And this is Archie. Hi, handsome. So he has an incredible call, but this is Archimedes, and we call him Archie. And he is a merlin. Now, merlins are awesome birds, and he is about 8 years old, and he's been with us because actually his right wing is partially missing. We're not exactly sure exactly how that happened, but there's a lot of hazards that can kind of happen to birds, like telephone wires or cars or pollution. So we don't really know the exact reason that he was injured, but there can be potentially many. Now, merlins are very cool birds. They actually eat other birds. So they have these really long toes to be able to almost act like a net to reach out and grab birds out of the air. You also might have heard the term ladyhawk before. Now, these birds were actually called ladyhawks because royalty, women that were royalty, actually owned them during the Middle Ages. They also heard that, or you already heard their really impressive call. Now, merlins are the second fastest bird, and they were studied along with other falcons for a problem that jet airplanes were experiencing. When jets were flying extremely fast, sometimes the air would actually go around the engine instead of through it. Okay, buddy. I know. Tell me about it. It's pretty challenging to have an engine stop in the air, right? So the air would actually not go through the engine, it would go around it, so it would make the engine stop. And this actually is similar to maybe something you've experienced. Have you ever put your head out of a car window when it's moving? If you have, you've noticed it's kind of hard to breathe with all that wind coming into your face. Well, fast flying raptors like Archie have special bones called baffles in their nostrils to kind of break up the air as they're flying so they can breathe better during flight. So airplane engineers copied these special bones in their nostrils, and they built cone-shaped structures that actually are going to be inside the engines to prevent them from stalling at high speeds. Aren't birds inspiring? Thank you, Archie, for helping us learn more about biomimicry and the awesome inventions of birds. So as ornithologists, we know a lot about the types of birds and their inspiring abilities now. Now, ornithologists are going to use different tools to help them study birds. Can you think of some other tools that ornithologists might use? Or maybe just any scientist, what kind of tools do scientists use in order to help them study animals, maybe out in the environment or in a lab? Go ahead and list some of these ideas in the question and answer section, and I will check back to hear all these awesome scientific tools in just a moment. We're going to now build a model of a tool that ornithologists use very often. Since birds can't fly, it is hard to study them since they're so far away up in their habitats. So binoculars help people to observe birds because they allow us to see the birds up close, even if they're far away. I hope that you will use the binoculars that we build right now to observe some birds, and maybe you'll even become inspired to create your own innovations that might improve our lives or help us to be more eco-friendly. So here are the materials that you're going to need to build your binoculars today. 2 pieces of paper, some tape, string, and if you want to decorate your binoculars, you can have some markers or crayons or colored pencils as well. So go ahead and make sure you have all those materials ready if you're going to build with me today. If you don't have them now, no worries, you can follow along now and then watch this and build again later. Are you ready? Okay, let's build. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my dot camera so that we can kind of build together here. So here is my paper, I have my tape, and I have some string. So we're going to go ahead and just take one of the pieces of paper first. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this paper in half. So go ahead and take your paper and you're going to fold it in half in the hamburger way. Sometimes we say the hamburger way. So we want to go the big way, not the long way, but we want to go kind of the short hamburger way. So go ahead and fold your paper in half, just like that. Excellent. And now this part is a little tricky, but you're going to get it. If you just put 2 fingers and kind of grab the paper on this end, you're going to be able to wrap that piece of paper around your fingers, and you're going to kind of just wiggle your fingers inside and outside until you can get the shape to be a tube. Okay? But kind of get it to kind of become a tube. Sometimes you have to kind of put your fingers in and kind of trace it around because it kind of bends sometimes. But in order to get it to be a tube, kind of move it around a little bit. And then when you have it, we're going to want it to stay shut. So we're going to take a piece of tape. If you have to put it down and re-roll it, that's fine when you get your tape. So you get your piece of tape and we're going to want it to stay shut. So we're going to go ahead and put that piece of tape along the fold. So now our tube will stay as a tube. So we've got one of the tubes of our binoculars built now. So let's go ahead and we're going to take our second piece of paper now. So with the second, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go ahead and fold it in half. Remember, the hamburger way looks the best. So we're going to fold that in half. And if you don't have a full-size piece of paper, any paper will do as long as you can kind of make it into a tube. So we're going to take our 2 fingers. I'm going to grab onto the end of it, grab the other side, and wrap it right around our fingers until we can make it into that tube again. Kind of put your fingers in the middle and kind of just get all those bends out so you can get a nice tube of paper here. All right, and we want it to stay shut, so we're going to grab our tape and we're going to take a piece and we're going to tape it right where it comes together so that we have 2 tubes. All right, now I want you to kind of look over here and I want you to do something with them before we move on with our build, because this is really interesting. If you are able to look through both of your tubes at the same time, I want you to see how you can actually see 2 different things at the same time. I have a door over there and I have a window right in front of me. So if I put my 2 tubes on my eyes, I can actually see the door over there and the window at the same time. Can I try that? See if you can see 2 different things where you are at the same time. Pretty cool, right? Now, what I want you to do is keep them separate, but then I want you to slowly bring them together until they touch. So bring them all the way together. Go from separate all the way together. Do you notice what happens? I see 2 holes, and then when I bring them slowly together, now I only see 1 hole. this is what the binoculars do for us. So it allows our eyes to adjust and be able to kind of make one area to view through when we have our binoculars. So we need to attach our binocular tubes together. So I'm going to come back over to our dot cam here. And what I found works really well is you kind of put them together, and then you're going to take a piece of tape. And I like to put it kind of inside one of the tubes. So I'm kind of putting it inside here, like that. And then if I put it right next to the other one, I can fold it over and I can pinch it so that now it's connected on this side. You can kind of do it when it's laying down as well. So you can pinch that tape right here. Okay. So that got one end together, but we actually want the other end together as well. So we take a piece of tape and we're going to put it inside one of the tubes, just like that. And then we're going to fold it over and just pinch it. Okay. I'm sure you can also just put the tape across as well, but this keeps it nice and secure on both ends. So we have our binoculars. However, sometimes ornithologists are going to want to go out into the field and be able to look around and maybe record what they found on a clipboard or with a notebook, and they don't want to drop their binoculars, right? So string is going to help us to keep it around our neck. So if you have a piece of string already, fabulous. If you don't, you might want to just kind of put it around your neck and kind of see how long it'll be, and make sure that it can kind of go on and off of your head so that you can make sure that you take them on and off. So now that we have our string, we're going to take a piece of tape. We're going to go ahead and tape the end of that piece of tape just like that. Okay, so just kind of put that piece of tape right on the end of your string. And then we're going to put it on the inside of our binoculars. So we're going to tape it right to the inside and make sure you really push it on there so it'll stay as long as possible. There we go. So get that first string on one side. And now take another piece of tape and we'll secure the other end. So we're going to put a piece of tape on this side. Okay. And then we can put it on the inside over here. All right. So now we have our string attached to our binoculars, and we can put it right around our neck. Look at that. Fantastic. So we've done it. We made binoculars that ornithologists use very often. Now, I hope you take your binoculars outside and observe some birds. It would be so amazing if you become inspired to create your own innovation that can help improve our lives or make something that's more eco-friendly. Also, if you want, you can now kind of color your binoculars or put any other decorations with those markers on it as well. And I'm sure you already are kind of thinking about some of the improvements that you might want to make to your binoculars as well. I actually did this activity with some of my second graders during distance learning, and they came up with some awesome improvements. Some of them actually put colored like Legos or lights into the tube right here at the end where the lens is usually in a binocular. They also have used different materials like cardboard. They decorated or kind of combined them and put a part in the top of the binoculars. And some of them actually put a handle instead of a string to hold them. So I thought they were super creative, and I know that you will come up with some great improvements as well. In fact, if you have some ideas for improvements, you can put those into the question and answer section as well. I'd love to hear them. So I think it's time to see how much you've learned today with a Kahoot. So please go ahead and open a separate window and make sure that you are going to put, oops, let me go ahead and get to that code here. It's in the chat, but let me go ahead and give you the code that you need to punch in. So it's 82686. There you go. So this is going to be the code that you need to enter. So you just kind of open up a separate window and go to kahoot.it. And then you can go ahead and enter this code so that you can join our Kahoot. And Mr. Bruder, maybe while people are joining, we can check in and see some of the tools or scientific tools that our viewers listed, and maybe if they have any ideas for improvements to binoculars as well.
Sure. And again, if you need that code, it's right there at the top of the screen, 82686, and we are putting it in the Q&A, and I see some people popping in. So I think we got it. Yes, we have a bunch of very cool tools that were shared. We had one person, actually there was quite a few people who shared microscope.
Oh, that is a great one, definitely, especially in the lab. You can see so many things that we don't really see with our eyes with microscopes. You can see that microscopic world, and that's a great tool to study any type of nature, or actually anything, really.
We also had Alejandro and Room 401 at Harborside share an X-ray machine to examine birds or animals in case there's an injury or something like that.
Perfect.
We also had Aaron share a camera to take pictures, or tweezers to be able to pick something up.
Oh, that's great. Great ideas.
Emma shared binoculars, which you were making with them. Danny shared gloves. Also, some bird-friendly cages to be able to transport.
Very important, definitely.
Lucas shared a great one, robots that have cameras to be able to send into a particular area that maybe people can't get into.
Oh, wow, that is a great tool, definitely. Using our technology, right?
Yeah, and then we also had Danny share a hat, definitely working outdoors a lot.
Oh my goodness, I have mine right here, absolutely.
Colton shared things that kind of align with science notebooking, which I know a lot of students in our district do. Clipboards, journals, pens, pencils, all those great things you need to take notes.
Absolutely, so important. If you're observing, you want to be able to remember it and be able to share it with others, absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, if it's okay with you, I think there are some things I left out back when we were talking about birds.
Oh yes, please.
And what kind they could identify. We had, I think Colton again shared about sparrows and parakeets. Layla shared about a swan. Some people shared about a condor.
Condors are amazing animals.
California condor. So yeah, tons of great ones coming in. And I thought you would appreciate this. We also had someone share that they had spotted a bald eagle, Franklin, while they're at the Living Coast.
Oh, Franklin is one of our favorite ambassadors here. He is amazing. You definitely all need to come. We are open Thursday through Saturday, or Tuesday through Sunday now, 10 to 5. So come and see Franklin and all of these awesome ambassadors. Definitely love to have them. And that's so great that some of you already know them too.
Yeah, definitely. And another tool was a telescope.
Oh, good one. Yep. Just one of those.
Definitely. Absolutely. Trying to see from far away. I apologize as I'm jumping all over here, but I want to share all these great things.
Yes, please.
You asked about improvements as well. We had a few people mention lenses. We're putting some lenses on our binoculars.
That is something that they're missing, definitely. They don't have the lenses. They can still allow you to kind of focus on things, but yeah, lenses would definitely be an awesome idea.
And I have to tell you, because we got a ton of messages in the Q&A, just so much admiration for the birds that you shared and how much our students love those animals, and particularly the birds that you were able to share with us today.
Jack and Archie are pretty special. I agree.
So with that said, I know we still have a few more people popping into our...
Wow, 492. That's amazing.
Yeah,
so
we're
excited.
Definitely a big group, but I think we're just about ready to get started.
Okay, sounds good.
So when you're ready, I think we are.
Last joins and come on in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Here we go. Innovation inspired by nature, bird edition. In 3, 2, 1. What is a scientist called that studies birds? Remember, this is the type of scientist we became today. What is a scientist called that studies birds? Are they herpetologists, red triangle? Are they ornithologists, blue diamond? Are they ichthyologists, yellow circle? Or entomologists, green square? What did you become today as we studied about birds? Was it red triangle, herpetologist, blue diamond, ornithologist, yellow circle, ichthyologist, or green square, entomologist? What do you think? Remember what kind of scientists we were today. Don't forget, we've got our binoculars to help us out as well. Get those answers in about 5 more seconds. Herpetologist, ornithologist, ichthyologist, or entomologist. Let's see how you did. Woohoo! Ornithologist is correct. Absolutely, well done. We became ornithologists today. Social elephant, fuzzy yak, social rabbit, mountain bee, and glad squid are all on our leaderboard. Congratulations and keep it up, everyone. Here's our next question. What type of bird is this? Remember how we learned the 4 types of birds. So what type of bird is this? Is it a red triangle flightless bird, a blue diamond raptor, a perching bird, yellow circle, or a water bird, green square? What type of bird is this? Is it a red triangle flightless bird, a blue diamond raptor, a yellow circle perching bird, or a green square water bird? What type of bird is this? There's a hint in this picture that should help you answer this question. You have about 10 more seconds to get your answers in. Flightless, raptor, perching, or water bird? Let's see how you did. Here we go. Yes, water bird. That was a goose, and definitely it has those webbed feet and lives near the water. How are leaders? Whoa! Social elephant still in the lead with fuzzy yak close behind, and mountain bee, social rabbit, and winged fox. Well done. Here we go. Keep it up. Our next question is biomimicry. Is when people copy red triangle nature, blue diamond light, yellow circle rocks, or green square machines. What is biomimicry? When people copy red triangle nature, blue diamond light, yellow circle rocks, or green square machines. What is biomimicry? Red triangle nature, blue diamond light, yellow circle rocks, or green square machines. What do people copy in order to help us be more successful and also be more eco-friendly? Last couple seconds, get them in. Woohoo! Nature. Nature is absolutely correct. You rocked it. Well done. How are our leaders? Oh, social elephants hanging in there, and so is fuzzy yak and mountain bee. Now we have knowing gator made the board, and well done winged fox. Keep it up, and glad wallaby, you have the streak of 3. Nice job. Here we go. A quiet and powerful fan was inspired by the wing of, what inspired this fan? Was it the wing of red triangle, a turkey, blue diamond, an owl, yellow circle, a duck, or green square, an ostrich? What bird inspired this powerful but quiet fan? Was it the wing of a turkey, red triangle, an owl, blue diamond, a duck, yellow circle, or a green square, an ostrich? What type of bird inspired this powerful but silent fan? Get those answers in about 10 more seconds. Is it a turkey, an owl, a duck, or an ostrich? What do you think inspired this type of fan? An owl! You did it! Well done, well done. How are our leaders now? Ooh, Fuzzy Yak just got a little faster on that one, but Social Elephant right there, and Mountain Bee, Knowing Gator, and Diplomat Dove, welcome to the leaderboard. Captain Horse, well done. Streak of 4, here we go. Last question. What tool is used to observe birds from far away? What is the tool that observes birds from far away? Do we use a red triangle magnifying glass, a blue diamond, a microscope, a yellow circle binoculars, a green square thermometer? What are the tools that ornithologists use to observe birds from far away? Red triangle magnifying glass, blue diamond microscope, yellow circle binoculars, or green square thermometer? What do you think? This one should be very familiar right now. Red triangle magnifying glass, blue diamond microscope, yellow circle binoculars, or green square thermometer. What tool? Get them in. Last little seconds. Binoculars is correct, of course. Well done, everyone. You were fabulous. See how our leaderboard and our podium look now. With third place, 4,921 points was Mountain Bee. Congratulations. Second place, Social Elephant. And first place with 4,974 points is Fuzzy Yak. You rocked it, and congrats to Mountain and Knowing. I don't see the rest of the names from those, but congratulations to everyone. I'm so impressed with how well everyone did on that amazing Kahoot. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed meeting our Raptor ambassadors today and learning about the innovations that they have inspired. If you want to see more of our animal ambassadors at the Living Coast, you can check out my Creature Close-Ups with Mrs. Q YouTube playlist. The link is being placed in the question and answer section now. And also, just a reminder, the Living Coast is open right now from Thursday through Sunday, 10 to 5 every day, and you can come and actually see our animal ambassadors in person. If you've missed any of our live events or you'd like to see them again, please visit our Innovation YouTube channel. You can like it, and you will find many of our previous live events and other awesome resources from the members of our innovation team. The link's being posted in our question and answer section now as well. And finally, exciting news, in 2 weeks on April 22nd, Mr. Garcia from the Innovation Station will be presenting his live lesson titled The Amazing Race. This will be a hands-on interactive experience, so don't miss it. Thanks again for attending, and bye for now.